What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, Infinity Ward finally came out with some information regarding fixes and changes coming into Modern Warfare 2 Season 2. And of course, I'm not really going to be dabbling within Warzone or DMZ. My main focus right now are the fixes towards 6v6. And I gotta say, within these notes, it's a lot of disappointment. But again, we're going to go through everything. We're going to discuss everything. And of course, leave your opinions down below on how you feel about the overall picture. But to start off, I do want to go ahead and get this out of the way first, because I'm personally not really, into the ranked play side of things when it comes to Call of Duty. I play it very casually. I barely even play it to, begin with nowadays. I used to be addicted to COD, but even back in the day when I was addicted, it was always to just, casual domination, TDM, kill confirmed, I just loved Call of Duty for what it was. But ranked play is still an extremely important category for the Call of Duty franchise. And I think it's something extremely funny, dabbled in here. But as you can see right here, it says ranked play. Last week, we confirmed that ranked play, a deep multiplayer experience done in partnership with Treyarch and the Call of Duty League and Infinity Ward, is coming to Season 2. Details on ranked maps, modes, and more will be revealed prior to launch. Now, of course, it's not really much to talk about, in my personal opinion. They do this every single time. Ranked play is never at launch, and then usually by New Year's, they go ahead and introduce it into the mix. But what I get out of this overall picture here is just how funny it is that they always go to Treyarch when it comes to making the ranked mode. Isn't that kind of funny? I might go ahead and make a whole video about this topic because I think it's hilarious. They really do know that Treyarch understands what makes the best, gunplay action when it comes to a Call of Duty title. The most skill gap, just everything competitive that comes to COD. They always go to Treyarch. And I say it in all my videos that Infinity Ward has always been an extremely casualized development team when it comes to COD. And Treyarch always has been, maybe not the most competitive all back in the day, like with World at War, maybe Black Ops 1 was actually pretty good. They just have a really, they have good skill gaps in their Call of Duty games. So I just thought that was pretty funny that, of course, Treyarch once again is back at it, making the ranked play for Modern Warfare 2, just like with all the other Call of Duty games. But ladies and gentlemen, these next two things are exactly why I personally am extremely disappointed with Infinity Ward and all of their updates coming within Season 2. It just, to me personally, seems like they aren't listening to us. All of our disappointment, all of our concerns, everything that we have to say about the game, just it seems like it goes through one ear and then completely out the other. But I'm going to start it off right here with the audio. I'm not even going to go ahead and read anything out of here. I'm going to put it up, obviously, so you guys can see what it's all about. But basically, they're talking about the audio occlusion system, which is basically, how audio sounds inside closed environments. So if you're inside a building, if you're inside, any closed surface, how gunshots will sound, how footsteps will sound, how, grenades will sound bouncing off walls, all of that stuff. Obviously, it's going to sound good, but is it what we wanted? At the end of the day, we wanted footsteps specifically tuned down. So players who want to be a bit more aggressive are allowed to do so. I went back to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and, as many problems as that game had, I can't deny that even without dead silence, I can move so much more. I can play more aggressively because people basically rely almost more on their gun skill than they do on their ears. In Modern Warfare 2, that's all this game is about. It's about your ears. It's about listening. It's, listening more than actually being able to aim your weapon. And that is a problem. We've been begging for fixes and changes, but they refuse to listen. And it's not like, this is anything new. Back in the day, of course, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty 4, all of those games were a little bit more slow-paced, a little bit more tactical than, compared to your typical Treyarch game. But the sound was still easier to maintain, and we had dead silence permanently back in the day. So if you are a more aggressive player, you're allowed to play so no matter what, any time you please. Man, I can't believe that they are egging us so hard on this subject, and they just refuse to discuss anything with us. But this isn't even the biggest, the worst problem that I have for you guys. What I'm about to read off to you is just... I'm just going to go ahead and read it off. Perk balancing. We have heard a lot of feedback around the timing of the bonus perks, specifically the Ghost perk. We looked at swapping this perk's position, but we felt this would create severe imbalance in the perk system. For Season 2, we've updated the rate at which the bonus and the ultimate perks are earned, reduces bonus perk cost by 50%, and Ultimate by 25%. This adjustment will allow players to get Ghost earlier in matches, which will better support players looking to engage more aggressively. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys twice on why this has to be the stupidest thing I've ever read in my whole life. I really do not want to be mean. I really don't want to have to, rant or anything of that sort. I'm trying to stay calm in the situation, but it's nearly impossible to read anything off of that and not get fired up. You can't be serious. Like, the disappointment right now for me personally is insane. I've been saying since day one that I see way too much potential in this game that is just absurd, and all they have to do is simply fix things. The perk system was one of them. It's as easy as hitting a revert button, and the revert button doesn't even have to be a completely overhauled perk system. Just remove the timer. I don't care if all I can use is 4 perks. I really do not care. Just remove the timer. It will literally affect nothing within the game, to be honest with you guys. And it will just allow us players to be able to pick a playstyle that we want to play and be able to play it right at the start. You have to I need someone to explain to me what is the purpose of continuously reducing the time. Because at a certain point, they're just going to reduce the time down to we'll get Ghost in 1 second. And at that point, what is the reason of, forcing this into the game? There is none. There is none. They're doing the same thing DICE did when it came to Battlefield 5. Do you guys remember that game? When DICE decided to completely change around all the time to kill values, basically making all the weapons completely different. If you learned every gun in the game, you had to completely relearn everything in the game all over again. And it also made everybody who came into the game fresh. Their experience an absolute nightmare. Imagine, coming into the game, like I said, fresh, playing for a week, struggling and trying to learn specific weapons, get a hang of it, and you're slowly getting progress, and then bam, in a blink of an eye, all that progress is reset. At least the player, the veteran player, will have a little bit better of a chance to relearn everything faster than you. But you already with less experience coming into the mix late, and then having to have your memory reset so quickly, it just absolutely sucks. It was such a bad idea, and we had to fight and push and just change forever. It took ages to get DICE to finally fine-tune it to a point where everybody was happy. It's the same exact problem. It's one of the easiest fixes. All you have to do is just take the timer off. We're not being picky. We don't need to overhaul. Just take the timer off. It's as simple as that. And they are going through every hoop, every loop, every thing that you could possibly think of. It's, again, like I said, I'm trying to stay calm here, but my God, it's nearly impossible for this. And the last thing, I'm not even going to go ahead and show up here because it's very simple. But once again, it just further proves my point that Infinity Ward is doing nothing but disappointing their community. And it's like they don't even have to disappoint us. They really don't. They could have completely been a top dog developer this time around with this game, but they're choosing to do this. It is what it is. But hardcore is coming into the game for Season 2. But it blows my mind that this is news, that this is something that's important, that this is, basically quote unquote new content, when hardcore has been something that has been in Call of Duty basically since the beginning of time. Hardcore is an icon, and even though it might not be as popular as core, especially for the older, Call of Duty titles, if you want to hop on Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Call of Duty 4 World at War on a console, of course, and you want to, try to find a hardcore match, more than likely it's never going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's something that has always pretty much shipped with Call of Duty at launch, and it's not hard to do. It shouldn't be complex. Anybody can go into a private match and turn that lobby into a hardcore match in 0.2 seconds. It's not hard. Yet we are here all of this time later, and now we're getting hardcore. Like I said, it's just pure utter incompetence. It's why I have to take breaks from just playing, talking, doing anything revolving around COD, because I'm running loops right now. We're just simply running loops, and it's pointless. Why do we have to fight this fight all the time when it comes to these developers? They are so stubborn. It's like out of all the other teams, usually it's the publishers who are the biggest problem. But I really cannot tell right now. I don't want to put all the blame on the developers because a lot of the developers are passionate. But it must be a whole lot of managers working at Infinity Ward who are really locking stuff down, because the way that they push the direction of multiplayer in Call of Duty nowadays, it's so disappointing. And the lack of enthusiasm that these individuals have for the multiplayer side of stuff, again, is so disappointing. Man, but again, I'm done rambling. What do you guys think about all of this information? How do you all feel about the adjustments? How do you all feel about the audio adjustments? About all of this stuff? Again, they are going to be working on weapon tuning as well, so don't forget about that stuff. I'm curious if they're going to make the weapon tuning more towards just having a better ADS speed, no matter what type of attachments you have on your gun. But we'll see at the end of the day what their weapon tuning, things are when Season 2 finally comes out. But again, leave your opinions down below in the comment section. I love to read them all. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so: Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, linked in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.